The Drop Back with Sam Lewis, Matt Burns-Peak and Joe Costanzo.
And we're back with another episode of the Drop Back podcast. I'm Sam Lewis and, as ever, joined down the line and on screen by Joe Costanzo.
Hi Slew, how we doing?
Matt Burns-Peak.
How's it going, Slewy?
And Stan Wilson for the third week in a row.
Alright, Sam.
Hat-trick.
Glad to... Yeah, I made the hat trick.
Triple
Boom.
Stan.
Joe's holding his mic like he's a fucking rapper this week as well.
Yeah, we had a bit of internet connectivity issues, and I'm downstairs now recording.
We.
Joe had some internet connectivity issues, but it's all good now.
Alright,
The so-called tech guy.
Yeah, I think we'll kick today's podcast off with a little bit of good news that sports have actually resumed
They're back.
taking place again,
Boom.
which, lined up with the NFL schedule being released, is maybe a little bit of positivity looking forward to September.
So good. It's been horrible there's been no sport.
I know, but
Been
we
terrible.
managed to get some sport. We got a week of just the Korean Baseball League, which I'm
Get
sure we were all
Love that.
watching.
Love that.
If anything, it does show how stadium sports maybe are possible in the future.
As long as the spectators are all cardboard.
They're cardboard. No, but they're allowed on Zoom calls on the big screen, so we'll get some
the
atmosphere
spectators
that way,
are
maybe.
cardboard.
Yeah, they've
they
got
got
cardboard
cardboard
spectators.
Why?
Amazing.
I don't understand.
I don't know, to make it seem...
So because it's funny.
It'll trick the athletes to thinking that they're playing in front of a packed audience.
You have to have some pretty
fair
thick
enough.
athletes.
Yeah, imagine going out to an away game and seeing just loads of home shirts.
Hooligans.
On cardboard cutouts.
Terrifying.
That's
Cardboard
a
hooligans.
tough atmosphere to play in.
Amazing.
Do you have cardboard ultras and stuff?
I hope so.
Could you imagine how good that would be?
They'd set themselves alight though with the flares. Which wouldn't...
Oh,
No, but they do have all these screening tests. They got big old fever screenings before they enter the stadiums for every player, coach, and referee. The referees are standing around with like latex gloves and face masks. So I wonder if once you hit sort of poorer sports, they're just going to be wearing washing up gloves, just going around.
Oh, would be
And
surprised.
the Baseball League has said that if any member of any team tests positive throughout any point of the season, the whole league's going to be shut down for about three weeks.
That's a lot of
Wow.
pressure.
Ooh.
Which,
What happens if you're in the relegation zone and you just need
you
a bit
just
of time
go
to
into public and
regroup?
start catching it.
Yeah, and it's like, right, someone get him in, nominate a player, get him into public, cough on him. Oh no, we've got to stop for 3 weeks and now we can
Oh no, we were definitely not going to go down. We were about to make a run.
starting pitching.
Imagine the guilt, though.
And it's like, oh, he's also got coronavirus, so no one else can play for the next 3 weeks until he's healthy.
Ah.
Shady
and
tactics.
the first major sport and the first contact sport to kick off was the UFC,
Woo.
which Joe
Joe
pretty
loves a
pumped
bit of
about.
UFC.
I did. I stayed up until, God, it must have been like 6:30 a.m. the other day watching that.
Pretty
It was
normal
amazing.
for you, isn't it?
Oh,
Like,
God.
Yeah, standard day. No, yeah, UFC was good. They did have one player test positive. Well, player, I mean fighter.
Player.
Yeah, Jacare Souza. So their whole process was the fighters would arrive 2 days before the event to do the weigh-ins and stuff. And as they arrived, the testers would come meet them in their cars, and them and the coaching staff would have to obviously get tested, and then they would be isolated in their own hotel room for the day prior. It was kind of a weird situation because the one guy who did test positive, obviously because the turnaround time was something like 48 hours on those tests anyway, so they would only actually know like just before the event.
God.
Yeah, so this was all like done in Florida. I mean, Florida have very relaxed views of the whole sport,
Yeah.
the sporting ban thing, but it turned out okay, to be honest, because he'd been isolated from everyone. He was completely asymptomatic. He just thought he might have it because he knows, his family members and stuff had it before. No one. We won't really know until like 2 weeks after this if anyone else caught it during the event anyway.
And with 2 more fight nights coming this week as well.
Yeah, I know. They're going mental. Well, the UFC have basically got a quota to fill out because the company that bought them have to rely on them having a certain amount of events a year. So
really?
I'm not sure if you guys have heard about this, but they bought an island for international fights.
Fight Island.
Yep.
Wow.
No one's.
It's like from a terrible fucking.
Or the
film,
Hunger
isn't it,
Games.
this? Or the Hunger
Yeah,
Games.
like a video game.
Terrible fucking film.
It's like a video. Yeah, like a.
It's Mortal
Ultimate-
Kombat in real life.
Pretty much. But so yeah, all the fighters that don't live in the US are going to compete in Fight Island. It seems.
It's getting up like Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Greg Hardy
man.
actually fought on that UFC as well, by the way. He says that he wants to fight on Fight Island. He wants to live on Fight Island for like 5 weeks and just fight
Of course
every
he does.
week.
He's an absolute mental fella.
Is that the actual name of this island then? Fight Island.
Well, everyone just keeps calling it Fight Island. We don't actually know where it is. They haven't
Why would you
told
call
us
it
that
anything
much.
else?
The new
Yeah.
Jurassic Park
Fair
spin-off.
play.
That could probably be a movie or something. But yeah, I mean the event went down pretty well. Gaethje, mad fighter, one of my favourite fighters, finished Tony Ferguson in the 5th round, so he's the new guy to face Habib. So don't know if
As a fan of the sport, what's it like watching it when there isn't any
that's
fans
fucking
in
weird.
attendance? Does it
It's
take something away from them?
So strange. Do you know what was weird as well is that a lot of the Greg Hardy in his fight actually heard one of the commentators saying he needs to check those leg kicks and started checking the leg kicks. So it like they can hear everything the commentators are saying. They can hear everything. Like some of the coaches on
Greg
the
Hardy's
other,
bitch.
yeah, some of the coaches were like yelling advice to like put off the other fighter, and things like that as well. So it must be
Wow.
really weird. I mean, watching it is weird anyway because there's just no fans. It's completely empty. You can hear like every punch. You can like hear this like wet pillow noise every time someone gets
Yeah.
punched in the face.
That's got to be quite
Whoa.
off-putting.
How many times have you heard a wet pillow in your life, Joe? What
You don't want the answer to
that.
You don't want to know how.
Man.
Yeah, but I mean,
God.
it's really strange. Every coach had to wear PPE as well. Everyone except pretty much the referees and the fighters had to wear face masks and gloves and everything. But I mean, like I said, we won't actually know for 2 weeks if anyone caught anything during the event. But it
Let's
seems
hope
like
not.
every Saturday and Wednesday they're gonna roll out a new UFC for the foreseeable future to sort of catch up on the time.
Well,
Are they
they'll
gonna
get
keep it
huge
all in
viewing
Florida
numbers
then?
Because people are desperate for sports.
I think they'll probably keep. He said Dana White said there was quite a few other states that were options, but Florida was obviously the most favourable option because.
Well, they did get 10 states offering to host games, but yeah, if you can do it in Florida, then that's where they're going to pick. With the UFC, though, being a one-on-one sport, and it makes it easier, though, to take someone out,
It's a
if,
unique
like you said, when
situation, isn't
Souza
it? Yeah.
does catch the virus. If transporting that to a team sport, when you look at the Bundesliga, with that kicking off on Saturday, hopefully, Dynamo Dresden's team is already going into a 2-week isolation because 2 of their players tested positive. So
Yeah, it's not a good start.
Yeah, especially as the infection rate in Germany has gone up since they've relaxed lockdown. So I'm wondering if like the Bundesliga will even go ahead, if they'll be able to justify it at all. Because if it ends up in more people dying, then it's going to look really bad on the government.
That's the other thing as well, because the in South Korea the infection rate is so much lower compared to other countries because they were kind of ahead of this whole thing anyway with their previous experience and just how well they dealt with the outbreak. But yeah, I don't know.
And that's got to be a worry for the NFL as well, though, because if 2 players in the Bundesliga are shutting down a whole team, the fact that they've got a 53-man roster and more than that in pre-season, before that with all the training camp bodies they've got, that's such a high risk of one guy shutting down an entire team.
Yeah, plus you've got all the positional coaches, the quality control coaches, all of that as well. The amount of personnel it takes for NFL game day to happen is like ridiculous. So yeah, it poses a massive risk realistically.
Well, I don't know what the best way of dealing with it is. Like, if you take a leaf out of the UFC's book, then I guess you'd have to test every player coming into training camp, which would have to be obviously completely isolated anyway.
Well, you're seeing in like normal football teams starting to look at the possibility of training players in like small groups and stuff like that, which I guess you could translate that to American football in terms of position groups and stuff like that. But obviously, it's still not the same. Just
if you do that positional group wise, that's going to hugely benefit offenses, though, because the lack of communication you're going to get between linebackers and safeties and stuff like that there's going to be so many coverage breakdowns, especially if you're in zone. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know if there'll be more man coverage because it just means under
It's easy
simpler
to-
calls.
Yeah.
It'll just be simpler concepts, really, won't they? Like the defences won't be nearly as complicated as last year, which will like pose a massive disadvantage to teams like the Patriots who run complicated defences and stuff. Like,
And the Dolphins, as soon as we get a good defense, there's a world pandemic.
Well, at
yeah,
least
but you
you've
run
got
a man
an excuse.
coverage. You run
Bloody
man
ruins
coverage
it.
primarily, don't you? So
Yeah, true. I'm just saying. It's not fair
Yeah,
to the Fins.
yeah. In the other news as well, MLB is looking to come back soon. Major League Baseball. Apparently, they will be coming back soon at closed stadiums. They're thinking about using the spring training format with the Cactus League and stuff like that. So they might hold the entire season in like Arizona or Florida or somewhere like that, which would be quite interesting.
They should be a right MLB because no one fucking cares about them anyway.
Oi.
Quite a
Just
literally
wanted to
like
get
the
rid-
second
I thought you were
biggest
going to go
sport.
with because it's a non-contact sport, so there's less chance of transmitting it. But no, because no one cares, so it doesn't matter.
No one cares.
I mean,
no.
loads of people care. I just don't really like baseball. I struggle to get into baseball.
It's fun to play.
Because you've got a low attention span.
That is true.
Me and Slew played it
Well,
once.
so I've got a fidget cube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but the NFL did come out with saying that there will be quite a bit of flexibility afforded to the schedule this year. That basically, if the season is delayed, say it's delayed 3 weeks, the first 3 weeks they'll start with what would be week 4, and then they'll play 1, 2, and 3 after week 17
So we could theoretically miss out playing the Niners.
as the first.
You
Well,
still
no,
have to
you
play
just
them
play
at
them
some
later
point,
on.
but
Yeah,
you don't have to play them
Would you play them at
straight
the
away.
end of the year then?
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
be how
Both.
it is.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Not ideal then. I'd rather stay away from them at the moment.
Yeah.
Just stay away.
Yeah, stay away.
just take it. Just take another year to rebuild. But
Yeah.
no,
Get
but with the
get
whole
another load of
situation, man, we don't know.
draft
It's going to affect the NFL in a way that it's not going to affect other sports. In fact, the whole training camp's going to basically be shut down.
Yeah.
If the league is going to rush forward to start on at the beginning of September, does that mean they won't play the preseason games? They won't be able to meet up for training camp. They'll just be thrown into it.
Yeah,
It's going to be hard for those undrafted rookies as well who rely on training camps as their chance to like try and survive the cuts and stuff. But
And
Absolutely.
Devontae Parker. His whole thing is that he's a training camp merchant, and then first game of the season he's usually
Oh, it's been
injured.
absolutely robbed.
There's going to be no articles about Devontae
Well,
Parker this year, Matt. Nothing for you
exactly.
to write about.
Apparently, well, Trump, Dana White said this at the UFC press conference after the event, that Trump was quite adamant on first getting sports back, then everyone returning to work, and then schools.
What?
I'm glad he's got his priorities straight.
Yeah.
That's quite
Well,
right.
thank God for that.
Can you imagine having to be at work and not having sports to distract you? That's the right order to do things then.
Well, that is
Yeah.
a man that's looking out for a number one interest.
Yep.
Right there. I'm bored. Give me some sport. We'll work out.
That's
the
a
rest
man
of
who's
it.
trying to get re-elected this year. That is.
Yeah.
Probably will.
It'll
to
go
be
down a
honest.
tree
Yeah.
with his electorate.
Yeah.
But also
Boom.
with the shortened preseason, is that going to be a huge benefit to teams like the Chiefs? Because haven't they only lost like 2 starters from their Super Bowl campaign or something like that?
They're
there's
looking
teams-
scary good.
Yeah, teams with less turnover from free agency and stuff, and suddenly like the teams that picked loads of people, like us, had like 11 picks in the draft. So it doesn't look as great when you look at the struggles you're going to have to integrate them into a team.
Yeah, we had a fair amount of picks as well. Sucks.
It was so cool at the time, and now it's like, oh, actually, there's no way we
They're
can
not gonna
properly
know what
train
they're
you
doing.
guys up. Yeah, we can't even talent evaluate you. Boom.
That's a good question. How they're going to do cuts? I don't know if teams are going to be allowed to have
Bigger rosters,
an
maybe, but then
increased
there's-
practice. Maybe an increased practice squad. You can say that anyone you drafted, you can put on your practice squad.
Yeah.
That could be. Or maybe they can't be called up. They can stay in your practice squad, but they can't get called back up to your active roster or something.
Yeah, maybe. Either that, or it's just a huge advantage of players that got drafted in the early round if they're just guaranteed a roster spot that way.
Did you hear about
Yeah.
the salary cap as well? For
What, it's
What
going to
about it?
absolutely shrink because
yeah,
it's a percentage
it's
of
going to go down by like
turnover.
80 million a year or something.
Why?
Because
Because of-
basically it's a percentage of the total revenue or something like that, which
Oh,
is why it's
shit.
going up year on year because the NFL's
Is getting
increasing as a
more.
business.
Oh, God.
Because there's
Shouldn't-
going to be no stadium income because there aren't going to be any fans. And
That's ridiculous. Shouldn't it be going up with like inflation or something like logical like that rather than like total revenue?
Yeah. Well,
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 that's
inflation's
good, at
going to
least.
fall as well, isn't it?
At least we didn't sign loads of expensive free agents or anything, so we should be good.
Guys, I wonder if they're going to do it. They're just going to say, right, you've got to sort out your salary, or everyone's contract is just reduced by the percentage.
They can't do that, I don't think.
Yeah.
So then what do they do?
The players' union will absolutely kick off. And you know that's fair enough to it as well. Like if you got a new job and it's like, actually, we decided that we're going to pay you significantly less than we said because
you can't do that. It's illegal, I swear, as well.
There's going to be a lot of players cut then for saving salary cap. They're not going to renegotiate their contracts.
Yeah.
Stars on the market, lads.
Yeah, but no one's gonna be able to sign them.
Stars permanently on the market.
It's gonna be a load of people taking pay cuts, I imagine. Then.
They'll have to. Yeah.
Hey, value of rookie deals then goes up by loads if you think about it. If you've got a player for 5 years or 4 years on a rookie deal.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like Lamar Jackson.
And a rookie QB, perhaps.
Oh yeah, we love them.
So, Slew loves him as well with Jalen Hurts, so it's all good.
Yeah.
I forgot about
That's
that.
how we're doing. Stop piling it. His value has gone through the roof now. Rookie deal,
QB
easy.
factory.
We'll take two.
We got him in the
firsts and a
second
third.
round, so you don't even get a 5th-year extension. Lovely.
That's fine. Still get 4 years. No, but with like Joe was saying, the different states having different rules for sports earlier on, and how that's going to affect college football, is a question. What's going to happen with the draft? Because if we get to, say, the end of June, and say Michigan is that right, no college sports. What happens then to the players that return for school for their senior season for Michigan? Are they going to want to? I mean, at the moment, the NFL has said those players can't apply for the supplemental draft. But then what? Do they just sit out for a year and do nothing?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a really tough one, especially for college football, and like the sheer size of it, it's massive compared to the NFL in terms of the number of teams and the number of players in the teams as well.
Yeah.
Like the roster sizes are huge because you've got all the underclassmen, you've got the upperclassmen, and then you've got like all the players in between. It's going to be really, really hard to like have a normal season.
And because this sort of thing never happened before, it's not even like you can look back and be like, oh,
yeah, there's actually no precedent
that's
at
the way
all.
we can deal with it, sort of thing. So
yeah, I wonder with college football if they just cut out like the first 3 weeks of the season and just skip straight to conference play your conference games, and then just call it quits after there and just
Yeah, maybe.
because at least because at least with conference play you're sort of near the teams that you're playing against. So
yeah,
Isn't that kind of what the
It'd be really
NFL
tough,
have kind of said as well about prioritising the...
in division games.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, in college football, the conferences are like they've got much more importance because they're bigger and they're separate organisations essentially.
Well, yeah, if you could cut all those like, you know, the give me games that every college football team has against like Appalachian State or whatever.
Yeah,
They had a good season last year, both of those teams.
yeah, both teams. To be fair,
You
they
just
were
named two
decent.
teams that are sort of low key but had pretty good years last year.
I know.
They got something like Kansas Jayhawks,
Who did Jordan Love play for?
Utah State.
Yeah, trash.
Whack.
Yeah, they are trash.
That's all I want.
They are trash.
Nice.
No, but with the supplemental draft being that the whole purpose is for players that were ruled ineligible after the draft already took place. And so if the season covered, what happens to like Travis Etienne, that he came back for his senior year, probably would have been at least a second round pick, and now isn't going to play a whole year of football, so probably his draft stock's going to plummet, right?
Yeah, and they get a year older as well. But I don't know, that I feel like our draft last year had a lot more talent in it than this year, so maybe I don't know.
It's an interesting one because what Nick Bosa did when he came out of college, he pretty much skipped the entire year anyway, didn't he? And he still ended up.
I thought he was.
as a high pick.
I thought he was grievously injured.
He was injured previously, but he just decided to take the rest of the season off because he was like, I don't want to risk getting injured again before the draft.
Damaged wallet, I think.
Yeah.
And had to just better safe than sorry, just sit out.
Yeah.
Aggravate.
He had a big boo boo.
I mean, to be fair, like you can't really knock it, can you? To be fair, well, like if you're a Nick Bosa and you're like, as long as you have no career-ending injuries, you're pretty much guaranteed to be like a top 5 pick. Like,
And if you
As
see
soon as you got that first round money, you're sorted for life.
exactly,
Yeah.
and you see what happened to Tua anyway. We went from a first overall pick to a 5th. So
Burrow would have beat him anyway.
Wow, that is It's a spicy one. I don't know.
Joe Burrow had the better season. You can't deny that. He was the better quarterback.
College career.
Well, no,
Yeah,
obviously
but
not.
college is all about progressing.
Season.
Yeah, but college is all about your progression. And like the way he played in his senior year was absolutely outstanding. If you look, it's all about the development, really. Like, can't judge him off his years, especially at Ohio State when he didn't even play.
But then why didn't he play?
Because that's not the system.
Scheme. Yeah, exactly. You got scheme. You got Dwayne Haskins there, JT Barrett.
Dethroned Hurts and then just fucking balled out. So, but I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, but now you're unsure of his hip
We will know.
His hip's fine.
He's going to need like the youngest ever hip replacement.
Don't you worry about his hip, boy. It's all
My
good.
nan's got a hip replacement.
Yeah, but your nan's not going to be the
Yeah,
franchise.
she
QB.
doesn't quite have
Do
the arm
Tua
strength that Joe has.
Tagovailoa and Maureen have in common?
Bad hips. Oh, dear.
All right, so I think we should move on to the NFL schedule release.
You mean that the thing we were meant to be covering for the whole podcast?
Yeah.
Well, no, we're supposed to be talking about that because it's important. Otherwise, we won't even have a schedule if the league doesn't
That's
even
true.
happen.
Exactly.
That's true.
At least now we know about Joe's nan's hip. So
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
And aren't you all glad?
Hashtag
That's
pray
gonna
for Maureen.
Don't tell us I don't give you insider knowledge.
So, who is going to have the hardest opening fixtures of the NFL season?
Arizona Cardinals.
Arizona
Like,
Cardinals.
That's going to be tough. Yeah, we've got to go to Santa Clara and play against the Niners. Like that's going to be tough.
That's
Just
a
the
tough
one game.
opener.
That's
a
it.
tough
It's that
opener.
bad. That first game's so bad.
Derails the entire
It's like,
year.
lads, we'll just phone it in. All that positivity from like last 2 weeks is gone because you've got to play the 49ers first.
Yeah, no, Cleveland they've got to go to the Ravens and play them.
Ooh,
I think
yeah.
that's going to be tough.
That's tough.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think the Texans look pretty screwed to start.
that's what I was
off
going to say. If you,
Oh,
you
yeah.
couldn't really get a
with.
tougher 2 games.
They go
then.
to Arrowhead to play the Chiefs, and then they're home to the Ravens, away to the Steelers, and then home to the Vikings. And
That's rough.
You could see him going 0-4 in that. The good
Watson's
thing is
gonna-
there won't be any
Watson's gonna get
fans in the
depression.
stadium to start booing Bill O'Brien, so that's a positive for them.
If he
Yeah.
should start booing himself. I think out of respect.
I'm not sure.
Well, do what
for
they did
sure
at the draft.
Watson
Get the
won't be.
TV screens on.
Yeah,
The fans
Zoom
burn.
call in some Texans fans. Just
Yeah.
abuse Bill O'Brien. I mean, I was gonna say Miami because, but I mean, you could really extend that to the whole of the AFC East because everyone's got to play the fucking Chiefs and Niners this season from the AFC
Yeah.
East.
The
And-
AFC. I was just
it's-
The whole division has got a whack schedule throughout the whole year.
Yeah. Which I guess it sort of levels out the fact that there's been a sort of rebalance of power in the AFC East in terms of the Pats
Yeah.
don't have Brady anymore.
We think there's been a rebalance. There's a good chance that they could be.
or
just
Jared
as good as
Stidham's
ever.
like actually low key fucking excellent. So
They've
who
got
knows?
some faith in him, so like whether it's just the fact he's on a rookie deal and so they can afford to build around him, which they haven't done either.
Yeah,
But
it's all
Well, they
a
can't
ruse.
afford. They've
Edelman's
got
going
no
QB.
cap room.
It's almost
Yeah.
like we had a draft full of really talented receivers and they refused to take a receiver.
I don't know where
Yeah.
their money is though. Is it just all in
Their
Stephon
O-line's
Gilmore
pretty
and
good, to
the
be fair.
yeah,
McCourties?
their O-line's decent. They've got like players like Joe Tooney and stuff, and they just re-signed McCourty as well. Won the McCourty, so that would have cost a fair bit.
Oh,
It's a weird
they're
one.
getting up there in years though. The McCourties.
I mean,
I
you could
had
look at the whole roster on the Patriots and say that, to be fair, couldn't you? Though.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I mean, I had the New York Jets, and I might have misinterpreted this question
Why?
as the
Was it-
hardest
you think it
schedule.
was-
The hardest
it was the
schedule
hardest to
overall.
watch?
No, well, it's the same AFC East. They've all got to play. The bloody
AFC West.
West. That's the one.
NFC West, isn't it?
Their start is the Bills.
When you say you misinterpreted, did you just miss
I
the
meant-
word
I meant-
starting?
Yeah, I put the whole schedule, so I thought the Jets
mean,
have got the hardest
This is
total
good,
schedule.
Joe. You've gone above and beyond 2 weeks in a row for your research, Joe. I'm kind of impressed.
Skit.
Kind
I
of.
mean, but you've said the Dolphins for both of them, so
Yeah, but it fitted both cases, man.
yeah. Your argument for the Dolphins is that you have to play the NFC West, and yet the Cardinals are in the NFC West, and we have to play all the NFC West teams twice
And
a
you've
year.
got to
So
But you
playoffs
get to
as
play.
well.
But you get to play the AFC.
Yeah, but you
You
also
get
get
to play Adam Gase twice.
That is true.
I wish we could play at a
No, he
place
doesn't.
twice. We get to play him once.
Oh, once, yeah, sorry, not twice. Not twice. We get to play him twice.
I'd love to see Dolphins moved into
So yeah,
the AFC West.
that's the advantage of being in the AFC East. You get to play the AFC East. But other than that, I mean, the
There's not many other advantages.
the start of the Jets schedule is still pretty hard. I mean, the Bills, good team. The 49ers obviously made it to the Super Bowl. The Colts and the Broncos, who we all, well, me and Slew
Both.
particularly,
Yeah.
thought were going to be quite good next year.
On the up and up.
Yeah, and I mean,
They do worry me, like all these young teams that have just had a lot of pieces thrown in now, is that how much are they going to be able to gel? Like, is he?
It's sort of like the
is
Browns
Locke going to
last
even
year,
be able to
isn't it?
throw to Jerry Jeudy before the season starts?
It reminds me of all the Browns hype last year, like how everyone was like, "Oh, we got Odell, we got Jarvis Landry," and then they just end up being absolutely awful.
yeah,
And it
the
feels a bit like that
Broncos
again.
O-line is a lot more serviceable than the Browns last year.
But you've got Drew Lock.
Yeah.
He's not proven. He's not. He had a few good
No, he
games at the
went
end of the
4-1.
season.
Last season.
Yeah, but
That's pretty
that's
good.
5 games out of 16.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they were stuck with Joe Flacco to begin with, so
You
They
fucking
stuck themselves with Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco goes to the Broncos.
Yeah.
No, I think Joe's like, I think he'll be pretty good to be fair. It's a pretty decent start and just instantly flops. And he's like, I said this from the word go. Terrible move. Absolute yo-yo man.
I mean, it is what it is.
You've been Joe crushing on Flacco since fucking day naught, mate.
Hey, you've got to survive somehow. If it means convincing yourself that Joe Flacco is a competent
It
quarterback.
wasn't even. It was elite. You were convincing yourself that Joe Flacco was the
I
elite
didn't say
quarterback
elite.
for
I didn't
ages.
say elite.
You've said elite plenty of times. You've got that
Plenty of
tattooed.
times, Joe.
All right.
And now the chickens have come home to roost.
Who did
The
you add,
49ers have
Slew?
the 49ers have a pretty easy opening 4 games. They got the Cardinals first, who
Fuck you, Stan.
Stan, you can't go both ways. You can't say the 49ers are
Straight
really good.
out
I'm
the
scared.
gate.
I'm scared to play them, and then be like, no, they won't be all right. To
Our
play you.
defense is getting better. Our defense is getting better now.
I think you
like,
just said that.
Slew giveth
Get-
and Slew
get-
taketh away.
Getting away. I do myself at the end. It's fine. Then they go play away at the Jets, away at the Giants. So you get to stay their furthest
God, that's
distance traveled.
easy.
Their furthest distance travel. They get to stay there for 2 weeks in a row. Don't have
Yeah,
to
but
go.
it is New York, which is like the epicenter of the.
No, it's New Jersey. Just
The-
stay south for a bit, and then they're at home to the Eagles, which they're going to at least go 3-1, I reckon, out of those 4,
Yeah.
I can see that, yeah.
which should set them up pretty nicely for the rest
Out
of
of
the year.
interest, who do you have beating them, Slew?
Oh, the Eagles, obviously.
There it is.
Funny that. I
There
couldn't
it
see that
is.
one coming.
No,
Intriguing.
I mean, there's a decent chance they go 4-0 there.
Yeah.
Potentially,
To be honest.
and yeah, and then I think they play the Dolphins after that as well. To be fair, so it could even be a 5-0 for the 49ers.
And then they have the almighty LA Chargers on Sunday Night Football.
We
No,
should
LA,
just go
LA
through the
Rams
whole of
even.
the-
LA Rams, not
whole-
Chargers.
Yeah,
You go through the whole of the Niners schedule just while we're at it, and then they
Yeah, and they finish off with. But yeah, 49ers should get off to a good start.
Well, they're actually on my team for one of the harder closing schedules, though, to close
Oh,
out
they
the season.
fucking should be.
In what should be quite a close fought division. I mean, they play the Redskins in week 12,
That's a
which
tough
is
one.
That's a tough one. But,
Gimme.
no, but then they've got at the Cowboys, who look to be pretty good this year, as long as they play Dak.
You said yourself the Cowboys look to be good every year.
Yeah,
But what about the Red Rifle? We want.
so they
Andy
look to be
Dalton.
good this year. I've said it
Oh,
myself.
well, thank God for that. They definitely will be there.
Hot take.
And then they go away to Arizona, who will have improved by that point and have a real home
We'll have
field.
them
They
then.
may
We'll
even have
have
a
them
home
then.
field. They may even have a home field advantage come December. That might be a thing in the distant future. Who knows?
Yeah.
And
We'll
then
have
they
the
finish
great
up.
man, Stan.
And then
We'll
they
have
finish
them.
off the season against the Seahawks, who always finish the NFL season well. And
Indeed.
Apart from when they
seem
play
to-
against the Cardinals.
yeah, but
Ooh.
it was actually Cardinals are hard to play at the end of the season. Just adds to
Yeah.
my
There you
points.
go.
It's true. It is true.
Home run, Slew.
Look at that. Can't argue with that. They'll even
We can
lose to
we
the
can play
Redskins to
football when
clean
it doesn't
up.
count.
Yeah,
What doesn't count?
reach.
We can play football when it just doesn't count anymore.
When you're already out.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
That's why it's going to be tricky for the Niners at the end of the season.
Yeah, they'll
I like
be
that.
pushing for a first round bye, and then we'll be pushing to have a winning season at least.
to
Hopefully.
keep your head coach.
Where's all your positivity gone, Stan? You were well up for this season.
I'm joking.
Because
No,
you
we'll have,
opened this segment by slating him.
no, we'll have a winning season. We'll go, I reckon, 9-7. 9-7 is where we should be this season, really.
10-5-1.
Do you think there's a decent chance that the Rams finish 4th in that division?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
there's a chance.
I think
What?
it
Who's that?
will happen. Yeah.
They got a
Wow,
new defence,
so
haven't they?
calm
They fired Wade Phillips, or he retired or something. So they've got a new defence. They've got Jared Goff, who's looking ever more like he's still a rookie quarterback.
Whack.
Yeah, agreed.
Jared
And,
Goff is such a weird one, man. Like, it looked like he'd sort of got over the slump and was starting to like look pretty decent, and then just last season just went straight back down to, like you said, looking like a rookie.
Yeah, he's
But
the
he's one of those,
definition of a
if
scheme
everything
quarterback.
around him's good, he's not going to elevate his team, but he's solid if he's given time and
Yeah.
good.
He's not going to win
players
you a
around
game,
him.
but he's probably
Yeah.
not going to lose you one, sort of thing.
He's one of those players you have to build your whole offense around. You can't like expect him to carry it at all in any way. You've got to build it specifically around him because he fit quite well in what Sean McVay was doing. But yeah, he just sort of hit a slump last year.
It
And
was when the running game stalled.
Yeah.
Large
yeah,
portion.
Cam
of
Akers will massively help with that though, and he's gonna get offensive rookie of the year. You had it here first.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah,
Boom.
But they're
Yeah.
going to finish last in the division.
yeah.
One of those, the classics. What a tandem.
Intriguing. I mean, so I did it wrong, like I said. So I had the whole
He's just like to
schedule.
preface this again with that he did it wrong.
So if I'm saying the easiest whole schedule for me would be Baltimore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
boys.
you got fucking rolled the red carpet out for you this year, Joe.
I mean, other than we've got to play Kansas City, Houston, and
Houston.
don't put Houston in there.
No, I'm saying
aren't gonna be-
they're the difficult ones.
No, Houston aren't
No.
difficult.
That's the point. Houston isn't the difficult one.
Houston.
They've
They
got
could
Bill
be.
O'Brien as their GM. They've got
Exactly.
no
Yeah,
one to throw the ball
they
to.
make the playoffs. They'll make the playoffs again. Watch.
No, they
they
won't.
No, they won't.
No, they won't.
I
They won't.
genuinely,
What?
I
They won't.
genuinely don't think they will, mate.
Okay,
Do you
fine.
want to put a sandwich on that?
Yeah, sandwich for all of us,
Yeah.
all three of us.
No.
So you could be
Well,
getting
let's
three
Stan get it. Let
sandwiches, Joe.
Stan get in with his first sandwich bet.
I'll take. Well, we've already put a sandwich bet on, I believe.
Oh,
What was the
already
what was
got-
the
take all
sandwich
three of
bet
us
on?
then. I was giving you an
Sandwich
out.
Oh
bet
yeah,
was
it was on Josh Allen to get to the AFC Championship game within the next 2 years.
2 years. Yeah, that was it.
That was it.
But that's a long sandwich. You need a short sandwich here.
Okay,
Yeah,
fine.
short-term
A nice
sandwich.
Next
short
season
sandwich
sandwich.
would be Houston making the
6-inch.
playoffs. I will give you a 6-inch sandwich on that.
Wait,
lunch.
can I ask out of curiosity what the length of sandwiches for the Josh Allen one then is? Because
Mate,
if
that's
that's
foot
2
long.
years.
That's
Yeah.
a
It's got to be
foot-long
more.
sandwich.
It's
That's
got to be like
two
foot
foot longs. Yeah, 2 foot longs on that. Wow.
I best start saving up my Subway points. Right.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna have to
No,
go
you
back.
got
and-
to actually pay for it. You can't use points. That's sort of that's cheating it.
All right.
I thought it was being handmade.
Well, we've got obviously so at home we've got the AFC North and then Dallas, Jacksonville, Kansas City, which is hard, the Giants and the Titans, and then away we've got AFC North again, and then Houston, the Colts, New England, Philadelphia and Washington. So
Yeah, you mean you could go a lot of wins.
yeah,
It's
and
your final three games
Your
I'm
last
looking
four
at.
games aren't
It's
that
the
tricky.
our
either. You
last
play-
four are Cleveland, Jacksonville, Giants, and Cincinnati, which is pretty jokes.
What the balls, man?
Yeah, and we went 8-1 last year against plus over 500 teams. So, I mean, it's
Set to
it's
the
not
playoffs.
hard. That's
Hannah who?
how they so offended.
Yeah.
But I think we've got a pretty easy schedule. I reckon we'll probably make the
Yeah.
playoffs.
Yeah. I could,
Does anyone want to put a
sandwich?
sandwich on that?
No.
Fuck the sandwich.
No
Bullshit.
chance.
The Bucks have got a nice cushy run in as well. Not just the teams they play, the fact that they don't play outdoors away after week 10 at the Panthers.
Wow, that is niche.
All their games after that are either at home or in a dome.
At
So-
home or in the dome.
At home or in
Put
the
that on the
dome.
t-shirt, Brady. Tampa
It's too
Brady
filled up
at
with all
home
those
or in the
Tom
dome.
Bay
Tompa
ones.
Brady, Tompa Bay.
In the
Oh
dome.
no.
The weird thing is that's catching on, the whole Tompa Bay thing.
Because we keep saying it, we're basically giving him revenue.
Yeah.
To just,
Yeah.
just
We
stop
do
it.
have that amount of pull, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, so their last 4 games are home to the Vikings, away to the Falcons, away to the Lions, home to the Falcons.
You got the Falcons in there twice, which
You
makes
don't
it a
know
lot
what you're gonna get with the
easier.
Falcons. I don't know if it does, man. 'cause
Trash.
It depends what Falcons turns up. I don't think the Falcons are trash. Like, they have the weapons to be decent. It's just you don't know what you're going to get. It's
Are they
consistency.
keeping the same offense from last year, or have they fired him?
They fired him partway through the season, and they're keeping the one they had towards the end of the season. Let me just...
What was his name?
Slew's frantically looking on his phone now for his.
It was because
Yeah.
Steve Sarkisian was the year before, wasn't it? And he was the guy who came over from like Alabama or somewhere, and he ended up to be trash.
Oh, it's Dirk Cutter still, somehow.
Oh, fair enough.
Wow. Well, that's.
Oh, Steve Sarkisian was the one that was in Alabama
Yeah.
and then was terrible.
Yeah. Can Dirk Cotter take out his old team?
Pow.
Cutter.
Pow pow. But yeah, I think the Falcons, they've got decent pieces. Like,
Yeah, Matt Ryan's like heavily underrated. Like he's an elite quarterback, and he just never has the pieces or the offense around him. Really, like
He does have the pieces around him, though, doesn't
He does.
Okay,
He's
I
got
feel
quite
this
a
is
few
just.
pieces.
I feel that Matt Ryan's been talked about so much as being underrated that he's now almost overrated because
on the
of
cusp of overrated.
I don't know. I don't know.
because people keep building him up now, and I'm not saying he always puts up numbers, but
He's a good fantasy QB. I just don't know if you'd want him as your franchise QB in real life.
I think it's part of the issue just down on their defense though, because like he obviously
Yeah.
puts up the numbers
Partially.
himself, but
What defense?
exactly, yeah. They lost Devondre Campbell, didn't they? They lost edge rusher whose name escapes me.
lost Trufant as well.
Yeah, lost Trufant.
And
They have struggled with being botched.
They
by
brought in
injuries
Dante
as well.
Fowler, who is basically the same as what is he? Is it Vic Beasley? Is he
Yeah,
still
Vic
there?
Beasley. That was it. You know, he left.
where's
It's
Vic
fair.
Beasley
He didn't do anything.
I don't know. He was like a massive bust
I
basically.
want to say
He had
he
a decent year. They made the when they made it to the Super Bowl. I swear, Vic Beasley had a
Titans,
good
Vic
year.
Beasley.
Titans.
Okay, cool. But
But yeah, I mean, other than the two Falcons ones, you could see Tampa winning both of them potentially. But I think those are the two toughest games on that 4-game run-in.
Yeah.
That you're talking about. So it's
The Vikings, though.
pretty cushy.
The
the
Vikings
Vikings-
are harder than the Falcons.
Vikings.
Oh yeah,
at
Vikings
home.
are much harder than the Falcons. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Where are they playing the Vikings? Is that
at home
or?
in Tampa. Tampa.
All right. Tampa
Tampa.
Bay.
Tompa. In Tompa.
The hardest
Indeed.
ones. Most of the hardest ones I have down are teams that are probably a bit naff anyway, so that's why they're playing hard teams.
Yeah. How does that
There isn't
always
anyone
happen?
worse than them. I got the Eagles though as having a hard run in. Home to the Saints, at the Cardinals, at the Cowboys, and then home to the Redskins. But that at Cowboys one is probably going to be the one that decides the division like it does every
Is it
year.
though?
Yeah.
What?
Is it going to
It's what?
decide the division? I
Do
don't
you,
know.
Yeah.
do you think the Cowboys are going to be too far ahead, Joe? Is that what you're going with?
No, it's all the Redskins are going to be 15-1 at that point.
What in week 14?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've just been gifted an extra few games. No,
Are you worried at all by anyone in that division apart from the Cowboys, Lou? Like
No.
Giants
No.
on the up, maybe, or
No.
is it literally just Cowboys?
Giants could get better.
No,
I
yeah,
think-
but
Yeah.
they don't worry me.
No.
Like what have they got on offense that apart from Saquon that is anything
Danny
to be worried
Dimes.
about?
Danny Dimes. boy.
Right, and who's
Whoever
Danny
that-
Dimes
whoever
throwing
that-
to?
Receiver was that I've totally forgotten the name
What,
of.
Sterling Shepard?
Yeah, they got Shep
Yeah.
still.
No, but there was
Oh, they got
Ingram, the tight
Golden
end.
Tate. Golden Tate, wasn't it?
Yeah, but they had a rookie last year who was pretty good. I've totally
Darius
forgotten.
Slayton.
Yeah, that's the one.
There we go.
There's my boy.
But
Be afraid. Be very
not
afraid.
yeah, but they know like, every team has at least one half decent player. The Giants just don't worry me, and maybe that'll come back to bite me. But
Yeah, it's fair.
I think if
fair.
you're going into the season being worried about a team that's has got so little weapons as the Giants, then you're not going to be pushing for a playoff place anyway. So
That's fair.
Yeah, they'll finish under 500 again this year. There's
Yeah.
no chance.
Redskins don't worry me either. They've got a pretty solid front seven-ish, but the offense isn't.
Their D line's pretty scary.
frightening.
Other than that,
The offense isn't frightening, but
No.
again, if you got to win those easy games, otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah, exactly. That's fairs.
Yeah, there's nothing about Dwayne Haskins that worries me at all. At all.
I feel bad for him, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
he got given up on pretty soonish after being chosen.
He was
wasn't really
massively
wanted.
He was massively
Yeah,
overhyped
exactly.
as a prospect, but I guess he got that first round money, so he can't complain.
Well, it's because he threw all those
He'll be right.
touchdowns at Ohio State, and that's also
Ohio State.
boost your stock, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, you got Urban Meyer there. Like it's a recipe for success if you're a quarterback.
and
Maybe on Urban Meyer quarterbacks, maybe Alex Smith gets a chance later in the season.
Ooh. You know what? That would actually be well nice, to be fair. Like after.
do you see his manky leg?
Well, that's one way of fucking putting it. I was going to put it a bit more delicately, Joe.
It was manky though.
Yeah, poor bloke, man.
Yeah, it was horrible.
I
He
hope
got like
he does play
bacteria in
again.
it. That
I
was
can't-
like eating away his bones or something. It was
Yeah,
It was
horrendous.
like black.
Pretty horrific. So you like he's one of those blokes I think everyone's sort of rooting for to make a comeback.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
even
Would you even risk it though? Like after doing something that bad to your leg?
Yeah,
to get
I
it
don't
back
think
in
he's. I don't
pads?
think he's working out so that he can go for walks.
he just like, wants to do a 5k for donate.
Yeah, I
5.
Mate, I think he will. I don't know where he'll play again though. That's the thing.
It's going to be really tough for him.
If
Like,
Cam
the-
Newton for his injuries struggling to find a job, how much faith are you going to put into Alex Smith?
but Cam Newton's injuries is his shoulder as well. Like it affects
Nah,
his throwing
shoulder's fine,
ability.
mate. Don't worry about it. Top food said so.
The shoulder's fine.
Famous last words of Cam Newton.
Yeah.
He put up a motivational video on his YouTube channel the other day.
I love
Oh,
his
that's all right,
motivational
then.
videos.
Yeah.
I low-key have a theory that Cam Newton's not going to get signed by a team until he stops using that fucking awful font on all
Oh,
his
God.
Instagram and Twitter posts, man. It really... I see it as, Cam Newton's put a video up. Oh, I'm not reading it. I literally refuse to read it. I'm going to get a headache.
It's not even English
I
what
don't
he's
understand who
writing
advised him
either.
that was a good idea. It looks terrible.
It's awful. It's like reading hieroglyphics. Terrible.
Cam does Cam, you know.
Yeah.
That's why he's not going to get signed to the Patriots.
Could you imagine?
They're strictly Times New Roman. I don't understand what
That is true.
That is the most Times New Roman
Hey,
team I've ever
we
seen.
can do that next. We can do that next week. One font for every NFL team.
All right.
Be interesting.
Oh, is that what it's come to at this point?
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of
Ravens.
news coming out at the moment.
Yeah. Well, that we'll,
To be
we'll
perfectly
do
honest
a
with you.
clickbaity article. What team is yours
Was it?
in the font?
Right,
Tell us
Comic
your
Sans,
NFL team
Joe.
and we'll tell you what font
Chicken
you
wing.
are.
BuzzFeed.
Alright, has anyone got any more takeaways from the schedule? I think that's...
I think we should delve more into the
There's only
manky
so
leg.
many so far you can go with it, isn't there?
I wish there was more news coming out. Anything
It'd
going
be
on.
good. It would be good.
Just
Well-
I mean, we can circle back to
There-
Dresden putting their team into isolation if you want, Slew. I think that was pretty interesting for the Bundesliga. Or we can just make this a Bundesliga show if you want for the next couple of weeks.
There was that
Yeah.
one thing
The
that
drop
happened.
back does Bundesliga.
There was
Yeah.
one thing that happened.
good overlap between Germany and American football. Let's get that.
Yeah. Talk about the GFL.
Does everyone heard about the Earl Thomas situation?
Yeah.
That was
Ooh.
fucking weird, man.
I forgot about that.
That
That's
was
big news.
so
I think that's the
weird.
biggest news in the
Good
last
boy,
4
Joe.
years.
Yeah.
That is
We'll let you
news.
take. Yeah, we'll let you take this, Joe.
Take
Well,
the lead, Joe.
basically, it seems as though
You have to use the word allegations and apparently a lot, just so we don't get
alleged,
sued.
yeah,
Allegedly, that's the
yeah.
word.
allegedly,
There you go. Off you go, Joe.
TMZ were going to
No,
report.
TMZ did. That wasn't allegedly.
Well,
That
yeah.
did happen.
Well, TMZ reported allegedly that
There you go.
allegedly Earl Thomas was caught allegedly by his wife, allegedly with his
It's alleged wife.
with his alleged wife, with his so-called brother, naked with a few other ladies.
Alleged ladies.
Allegedly,
Well, that
allegedly
makes
they
it
were
sound like they
ladies.
weren't ladies.
Well, they could. We don't know. You know, it's 2020. You gotta.
We
Gotta
don't
move
know,
with
and
the
most
times.
importantly, don't sue us.
Yeah, that's the main thing. So, yeah, and apparently his wife pulled a gun a gun was involved in the situation because it's America, and of course it was. In which case he allegedly wrestled the gun out of her hands, and his wife got a lovely mugshot that's going around the internet now.
We didn't say what he was allegedly doing with his brother.
I think you can kind of put two and two together.
And we can't though.
Apparently they were in different rooms though. That was just TMZ just being like unspecific, and apparently whilst they were
both in the same postcode, so it was...
they were in the same postcode, but whilst what was going on, they were in different rooms, and then obviously Earl Thomas's wife comes in. And Not happy, yeah.
Fuming, I'd go as far as to say.
Allegedly.
Can't really blame her for being miffed.
Yeah. If those allegations do prove true.
Yeah. I mean, if she did pull the gun out, then that was maybe a bit too far, but...
I feel like words could have been instead.
I don't know.
Yeah.
If a gun's there... I mean, did she bring the gun?
Why has this turned into a fucking gun crime bloody discussion?
I mean, we've done the Bundesliga. Let's move on to gun crime.
Move on to any other...
The drop back take on gun crime.
Welcome to the politics show.
Yeah. But it's a pretty weird one. She said that she was more annoyed that he wasn't obeying social distancing laws, which
Bullshit.
I don't believe.
That's a lie.
I'm not going to use the word allegedly.
Going into,
that is straight up a lie.
Going into a supermarket, seeing people that are too close together, pulling a gun out. Step back. I've got a ruler.
But yeah.
God bless America.
Wow.
God.
Well, that's got to be one of the weirdest pieces of NFL news we've had in a long time.
Yeah, I don't really know what to do about it, really.
Good for Earl Thomas for giving us something to talk about.
Bad for Earl Thomas on his marital commitments.
It wouldn't be as big a thing if there was more things to talk about, but
I think it still would be a pretty big thing.
Yeah, but it'd probably be forgotten quite soon. Whereas now we can kind of all maud over it for a bit.
Yeah, but it's the whole room about him being in the same room as his brother whilst it's all going on. That's the bit that people don't like.
Yeah,
because
I think there's a few angles that people don't like.
Yeah,
I think that is,
along with the other stuff,
I think Stan's right. I think that's the bit that has really thrown people through a loop.
Everyone's like, well, and obviously he refuses to comment on the whole thing.
Obviously, because why?
I think
would you comment on that?
If
but
that's
the
situation, you should just not comment. Otherwise, you're just going to dig a hole.
Yeah, but you might as well just like, I refuse to comment. But by the way, I wasn't in the room with my brother. But
that's commenting.
Yeah.
But
how did that come out then? If it wasn't him who said it,
must have been the brother.
Yeah.
It was. I don't know. One of the girls maybe as well. I don't know.
That's true.
I don't know how
alleged
girls
girls
does family reunions, but. You know.
Yeah, that's gonna be awkward.
Probably a little bit better than Ryan Giggs does. I mean, at least he got on with his brother.
Ryan Giggs. But yeah, that's weird. There have been some real weird pieces of NFL news if you go all the way back.
Everything's a bit weird right now, isn't it?
Do you remember when that O lineman just disappeared for a few days in the sea and then turned up again?
Oh,
what?
There wasn't an O lineman. I swear that was
an O lineman?
D lineman. Oh God.
Yeah, someone.
He went missing in the sea.
He went in. Who it was? He went missing off the coast for like a few days, didn't he? And then.
When was this?
Yeah, it was
like 3 years ago or something.
Was it Michael Brockers chasing mermaids or something?
Oh God. Football player missing at sea. It was in like the Gulf of Mexico, wasn't it?
God, I please hope that I've got it right and he does get found. Otherwise, we're gonna have to cut this entire section.
Oh no! Apparently there's been quite a few NFL players missing at sea, according to the
internet. Or separate occasions.
Save this for next week. We could do a whole segment on this next week.
Corey Smith. That can't be right. That was 2009. I
remember
this as well.
Yeah. Why don't we do that next week? Biggest NFL mysteries.
NFL top 10 conspiracy theories.
Yeah, that's a good one. We'll save that for next week. So I think it was a little bit of a shorter one today, but given the lack of information on anything, that's all we have to go on. So we'll wrap this up for now. Thank you so much for listening and watching if you are tuning on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe below or comment. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at The Dropback, on Facebook at The Dropback UK. I've been Sam.
I've been Joe.
I've been Matt.
I've been Stan.
Until next time, goodbye.
Peace.
Hey guys.
Cheers for watching. If you've enjoyed the content, then drop us a like and let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more UK-based American football content.